Getting the opportunity to work with Kellen, can you just tell us a little bit about, kind of what stands out to you about him?
I ain't see Kellen that much today. I ain't gonna lie to you and make something up. But nah, I mean, he in there. I think he's real focused, man. He pretty even. Knows what he wants. I mean, and I'm not going off interacting with him today. I'm just going off of kind of the way the schedule is, and I kind of look at things from a different perspective. Like, it's the way he times things up. It's like a reason. It's a reason behind why the periods are set up the way they set up, and why the plays are set up the way they set up in each period, things like that. So that's kind of what I was watching. I didn't interact with him too much, but I was just watching him a little bit, and he seems like he's very, very confident in why and when he's doing things. So.
Do you get excited about sort of the success that he's had with running backs in his past?
Of course,
stands out to you?
Yeah, of course, and I mean, obviously with Saquon just being the last and doing it. And it's exciting. I try not to look too far ahead. It's day one of camp, so we got to grind, and it's a lot to learn. Just with everybody, it's a whole new team. So just kind of catching everybody's vibe and seeing where everybody's heads at. Like, I know a lot about B. Cooks, but I never played with him. So catching his vibe, and then Shaheed and Chris are older now, so I'm just watching them, and it's like it's cool to see them grow. And obviously sees Eric, all these guys, Banks, Tally, Trevor at a new position, man. I'm just doing a lot of observing right now. Yeah, so it feels good.
How do you describe Kellen's personality? Like somebody says, what's
I'm figuring him out still. I'm figuring him out. I think he cool though. He cool for right now. If he do something messed up, I'll let y'all know. But nah, he cool, man. I think he's excited. I think he got good energy. Like I said earlier, I think he has a rhyme and a reason to why he does things. He knows what he wants, and I think that's one of the biggest things. I think in being a player and a coach, like just having the confidence to say something, do something, and then stand on it. Like have a reason why, like whether it goes wrong or right. Like, well, I did this because, and then be able to stick with that. So I kind of get that vibe from him. So we'll see. I got to see what his other vibes is like.
He seems to smile a lot.
Yeah, he do. Yeah, I don't know what he's happy about. Y'all let me know. Next time y'all interview him, ask him what he's happy about, and we can talk about it.
Yeah, what was your reaction to Tyron?
Tyron, man, I didn't know I was in the locker room, man. I didn't even talk to him. I gotta hit him. I know he was probably bombarded yesterday, so I wanted to cool down a little bit and I'll holler at him. But I mean, just to speak on him a little bit, that was one of them guys. Like I think everybody, growing up, it was like the Vicks, Dion's, and like Honey Badger, especially in me coming up. So a lot of respect to him. Happy I got to play with him. Good friend, good dude, all around. So I know he got something up his sleeve for what he's doing next. So I'll be connected with him. He out here. So I talk to him.
With you being the leader of the running back room, how do you lead or react or treat veterans like Cam, Akers, or you got Clyde, versus the younger guys?
I treat everybody the same. I see. I've never been because I had older guys that were cool to me, like Adrian Peterson, and I had Mark, and I had Travaris Cadet, guys that had some years on me and just brought me in and kind of like let me find myself. They weren't overly trying to like push me in one way or the other, or get on me too hard when I messed up, or praising me too much when I did well. It was more so like, okay, well, you here now, we all grown, like find your path. If you need something, I got you. So I'm just watching everybody, Kendra here, third year. I know Clyde, man, you seen what he's done, he's been able to do in the league. Man, everybody, Devin, all these guys in the room, man, I think all of them got their own personalities. I'll speak for me. When I came in my rookie year, I knew who I was, but when you get to another level, it's like that anxiety to perform. So I just try to let everybody find what makes them comfortable, and then I'm just there for the assist. Like if you need something, holler at me. And I don't want them to look at me and like, oh, it's Alvin. Like I gotta be on my man. No, we all together. Like I'm looking at them like I gotta set a good example. But I'm not. I don't feel pressure to act a certain way. Just be you. I just tell everybody be you, and that's the best way to make it gel.
Would you want Saquon level touches, like 350 carries, or is that a crazy number? Or
Yeah,
how
man.
do you do that?
I'm gonna call Saquon. I'm gonna ask him how he felt on Sundays after the game. But man, I think balance is important, right? So efficiency. with how I'm getting the ball, when I'm getting the ball, and then we got dogs on the team, so hopefully those guys get some spin and get the ball and loosen things up for me. So then it's I'm a big believer in hustle smart, not hard. So the best way I can get the ball and the most productive I can be in the most efficient ways, that's what I'm looking for, and I think Kel got that. So
there's been some seasons where it has been maybe more efficient, some seasons
yeah.
where it's been like a
so I know what it is. I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
So that's really what I'm looking for. Just the efficiency, man. Like make those touches count. Whether it's 10 rushes and 5 catches or 10 catches and 5 rushes. Like if those spots are good and we rolling, and I think it puts me in the best position to help, man. That's what I'm looking for.
Are you at a point in your career where you would like speak up on that if you felt like it was out of balance, or like maybe like, hey, like can we look at my role, or nah? I have the same message every year. Like I'm just here to do what helps. I don't want to get into that, but I mean I think so. I think I'm pretty vocal. In the building, when we going through things and figuring things out. I know for the past 3 I definitely have, and that was, but it's cool. We moving on.
I know it's very easy to say we don't care what people say from the outside,
yeah.
and we're giving our 100% every day and all that. How do you weigh coming in as a veteran, knowing you're picked to finish last by a lot of people who are going to start an inexperienced quarterback? I'm
gonna tell y'all, I don't watch sports, I don't watch Sports Center, all that. So everything that is said about us, it gets sent to me either by my brother, my friends, like my 4 best friends, or like my mom will randomly call me and be like yesterday, she right when I found out Tyron retired, she's like, Tyron retired? I'm like, yeah, Mom. She's like, did you talk to him? I'm like, nah, not yet. Or that's how I find things out. But I really never been a fan of the noise, right? Yeah. Like I don't really care. I literally, like genuinely, wholeheartedly don't care. Like I have a better word for like in between don't and care. But I'm focused on what's going on in here.
But how about the importance of things like the spirit and the energy and the belief and the buy-in? I mean, is it harder to do there's sometimes when you think you have the best team in the league, and sometimes when there's like a mountain climb.
Yeah. I think that comes from like a guy like me, the Marios, Cams, like the guys that have been here before, like you said, that have experience with knowing that, shoot, you could feel like you're on top of the world, and then you end up kind of having some bumps and bruises and end up not really where you saw yourself, and then it could be the opposite. You could feel like this year we ain't, and then you explode. So I think right now we just building. We building. I think it's especially for me, and I know DeMario over there and Cam, them guys are gonna talk, and I know they're gonna have the same message. Like we have to build. We have to earn the respect of each other. We have to earn the respect of these coaches, get back the respect of these fans, and shoot, on Sunday it'll take care of itself. I think we got talent. Guys around here played a lot of football, and we just got to get our vibe back, man. We just got to get our spark back. So
when you mentioned you've talked about being here and seeing Drew and knowing what it looks like at the highest level.
Yeah.
Not that you really can compare these guys yet to that, but
For
do you
sure.
see maybe like a foundation or the potential to at least achieve greatness from what
I see a lot of hunger. I see hunger, and I see a lot of want to, and I see guys that are very studious and guys that don't want to let their teammates down. If we're talking about quarterbacks, right? Yeah. So I see guys that are willing to take the criticism, that are willing to put in the work, that are willing to say, you know what, that's not quite right. We got to switch it up. We got to change how we doing things, and that's just from the 2 days of being here for vet mini camp, and then today, like they're anxious to be great. So it's good to see that. Like I'm on year 9. Them dudes is younger, but they obviously in a position to where they got a ball. They got to put their best foot forward. So I think it's good. I like, especially for me. I think my best performances is under pressure. So I think all 3 of them guys feel some pressure to perform, and I think that brings out the best in you, because they trying to not only prove it to themselves, try to beat out each other and prove it to the team, but shoot, I mean they trying to prove it to them coaches too. So I think it's gonna be healthy. It's gonna be good.
Do you feel like you have to build, when you're talking about building earlier, do you feel like you have to build more when you're coming off a season like you guys did, or is it the same kind of building?
I think from the outside looking in, you would think that you would have to build more, but I think every year is the same kind of formula, right? Not the same formula per se, but the same mind space. It's like, okay, this team is not last year's team, right? It's a different team, whether it's players, coaches. There's a lot of things that change. There's a lot of moving parts. So I think in my mind, at least, I go into every year with, okay, I gotta be better than last year. So whatever I do, I gotta grind 10 times harder. I gotta be 10 times smart. Like, so that's my whole mindset. So I think from top to bottom, you know, I feel like I exude that. It's other guys around the locker room that exude that, and it just trickles down, and then that becomes the identity of the team, right? So when we're talking about building this, there's core values I think that we've lost, that I think there's guys in here that have it, but for some reason it just wasn't sticking throughout the whole team consistently. So I think it's just like from year to year, you want to be great. The goal is the Super Bowl, so that goal doesn't change. So how you get to that goal every year, there's different puzzle pieces, there's different ways to put it together, but you know the vibe stays the same. It's like I got to be better than last year. I got to be better than the version of myself last year. I got to be a better teammate. I got to be a better player personally. I got to prepare better. I got to work harder. So those are just the essentials, like, I think. So I don't really know if that answered your question, but
when you talk about doing like being the best version of yourself, and did you change up stuff in your training? Like, did you do like altitude training when you were up in?
Oh yeah, I mean, when you wake up, it's altitude training. Shit, I was walking up the steps when I first got there, and I thought I was about to die. But yeah, I think for me it wasn't like I'm gonna go to Colorado and train. Swayze got hired, Dion hired Swayze. Obviously, I mean, Dion a good friend, so he allowed me to use the facilities up there. I mean, Boulder's a cool place. It's different, you know. I'm a Southern dude, but it's a little different. But it just kind of put things into perspective, because I was so used, and I'm a creature of habit, so I was so used to just, you know, locking in Miami from March to July and just being out there, and then having to kind of, not really having to, it was a choice, but Swayze said he going to Colorado. I'm like, I'm coming with you. So just being out there, it just kind of changed my mindset. It's like, man, you know, like I said, the formula doesn't change. So it's like, regardless of if I'm in Miami, Colorado, he could have went to Alaska, I would have went with him. But you know, the work is still the work. So we got it in, and I feel good. I think it was beneficial, just mentally and physically, obviously, because the altitude, but definitely mentally, because it just, like I said, put some things into perspective. And then, you know, I think Swayze, not only is he a trainer, but I think like he kind of like almost like a father figure to me, you know, and like just a big homie, father figure, like friend, all that. So, you know, just kind of switching positions and switching environments kind of changed our conversation a little bit. You know, put certain things into perspective, and it was all healthy, man. I felt really good being out there. Not only physically, but mentally, spiritually, all that. So.
Hey, Alma, did Sean hit you up in Colorado?
You said, did Sean hit me up? Yeah, of course. I hit Sean up. Man. You know, all those guys, everybody over there, Streef, Rizzy, everybody. So I talked to them. You know, it's all good. Everybody thought I was going to the Broncos, I guess. I don't know.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah.
Mario, how was Paris?
What's going on, great people?
How was Paris?
Oh, Paris was phenomenal, man. Oh my gosh, it was surreal, because I feel like I was in Paris representing New Orleans, and now I'm back in New Orleans representing Paris. It's a great sister city to here. It's like a big sister to New Orleans. You think about New Orleans and Louisiana being a French colony. Before the you got the Florida League on PSG. I mean, there's so many connections. The food, the culture, the people, the music. It's an awesome area to be, specifically if you are from here. It's a must place to visit, and I think we're gonna work on getting a game there, and so that's gonna be cool.
Is your French pretty good?
A little bit. C'est bon.
Were you honored to be just part of growing the game internationally, being part of that whole group that kind of go?
Absolutely. I think I'm a person that anywhere I go, I learned at an early age in life. I always try to leave anything that you're a part of better than the way you found it. And when I first came in the league, the game wasn't international. It was just having conversations about moving that way. And I think maybe my second year we played our first game over there. And now to see the NFL has all these, target countries that it wants to move, specifically for us to France and that Paris area. I think to be a part of that and know that the game is moving in that way and it's going to be something greater than when I came in is huge. The way that the NFL is doing it is through the game of flag football. It's been a big part of, around the world, they're excited about the Olympics and flag football coming. That's something that wasn't available, and they don't get to experience American football in the rest of the world like we do here. And so to be a part of that, to see the type of opportunities that are happening in there, it was amazing to see all the NFL flag games, that the championships being on TV and the ratings that it got. Girls high school football is a big thing, and that's happening locally and abroad. And what that means for girls being able to get scholarships and have access and go to college and get experience through the game of football that boys have always been able to get, or for a long time been able to get, it's just great. And so when you think about yourself as being a part of that process and being an early pioneer of it all, I think looking back at it in 40, 50 years, it's going to be something that you can be proud of that you were a part of.
What was the vibe like today? What was the energy like? Did it feel any different?
What was the vibe like as far as what?
Today.
The first day of training camp?
Yeah.
I think the first day of training camp is always great. It's a reset. It's starting at ground zero. Literally everybody is entering training camp day one with the end goal of the Super Bowl. And it's all the stuff that happens in between that really matters in terms of being successful, having a successful season or not. And so day one is just that. It's day one. And I believe we came out and had an unbelievable day. The weather was in our favor. I think that was the weather, saying welcome back to New Orleans for training camp, where I think it probably should have always been. So that was great. And there was energy. I think the coaches have done a great job of creating an efficient model for practice. And so it was great. We won today. And that's all you can do.
What were your early impressions?
Oh, y'all asked 5 questions at one time.
What was the energy like from the fans?
The energy was, our fans are always great. I think it's no secret New Orleans has the best fans in the world. And I think it's just because they genuinely care about the state of the team. They care, they watch it. They care about the position battles. They care about, the coaching. They care about the personnel that's being brought in. Like, it's not just fans that show up on Sunday. It's fans who are watching the transaction. They're watching the practices. They're watching progressions. And I think because we have fan base that's tapped in like that, it's always going to be love. And it was no different today.
What were your early impressions of Kellen Moore?
My early impressions of Kellen Moore, incredibly smart, incredibly talented. I think his resume speaks for itself when you see the ascension that he's had in his career. And I think it doesn't take long being around him to see why. He is constantly thinking ahead. He's very big on time efficiency. And I think we play a game that really comes down to efficiency. So somebody who naturally thinks like that, I think is going to be great. He's very culture-oriented and building the culture the right way, and something that guys want to be a part of and are proud that they are a part of. And I think he's done everything that you can ask the head coach to do. He's came in and got the respect of the team, brought electricity in the building, and gave us a roadmap for success. And I think you can't ask for anything more than that.
A lot of young pieces, and combined with Tyron retiring, how much do you embrace that leadership role? We've seen you obviously do it before, but how much is that something that you embrace?
I think it's part of the process. It's levels. A guy comes in, they're rookie or early years, then guys go into being an early vet, late vet, and then to where I'm at, senior vet. And you just have seen it all. And so you can speak to guys, with so much history and experience and examples that really lends itself to just being able to help guys across different positions, whether it's offense or defense, whether it's on field, off the field. I think in a lot of ways I lend myself to being more of a mentor, a chaplain, than just a teammate, now because, our game is very tough because a lot of time all the attention is what we do on the field. But guys have life off the field, and so guys have struggles navigating relationships, navigating finances, learning how to set themselves up in a good structure to have a good career. And how do you navigate that? You have to be able to lean on guys who have gone in front of you and who have found a way to find success in that process. And I think I noticed that, and I try to lend myself to it.
What's the buy-in to
It's time for one more. Go ahead.
what's the buy-in been for Staley's team so far?
I think if you're a real dog, it's easy to buy into his system. It don't take much. He one of them real ones, and he's had multiple top #1 defenses in the league, and in a relatively short time. And I think it speaks to itself. I think this is a highly evaluated game, and guys don't get to the positions that he's gotten to that quickly without having a ton of success.
How would you describe what's different about what he's trying to do than maybe what you've been doing previously?
What's different about his system, I think if you're watching the game and you go watch our film, and then you go look at Philadelphia defense last year, and you look at the difference, not from a player standpoint, but just what the guys are doing systematically, and you understand football and you can watch it in that way, it won't take you long to watch the film to know what's being done different.
How much is playing professional football for you right now is about playing football? How much is it using that platform to spread early and share it together?
I think it's a combination of both. It's phased up in that way. When I first came in, it was always about football. And I think even to now where I'm at, like keeping the main thing is very important to me. 70-80% of my time goes to training my body and making sure that I'm ready to do exactly what's expected of me at the highest level that I can do it or beyond. But I also think that to whom much is given, much is required. And I've been in the game for 14 years, have accomplished many accolades in that time, have seen the highs and lows of it, have learned a lot. And I think number one, that lends myself to the responsibility of the locker room. I've always wanted to be a leader of men. I always cared about the guys in the locker room. And I'm the type of person, when I came in, if I wouldn't have walked into football, I probably would have been a campus missionary. So like the locker room is my mission field. And so making sure that I'm reaching guys and being able to be supportive in all the things they got going on, whether it's, being a better person, being a better husband, being a better father, being a better community champion, and how can I help guys do that? But I think in while doing that, it is also giving me a platform to be able to reach the world. And I don't take that lightly. There's not too many places that I'm going where people are not going to know who I am or be able to find out who I am. And that's gonna lend me access. And what am I gonna do with that access? Am I gonna use it for myself, or am I gonna use it to make the area, the community, the city, the nation a better place? And I think that's what I try to do, is make everywhere I go better. All right, appreciate y'all. Blessings.
All right.
Hey, you got a favorite Tyron memory?
Win donut, man. As many interceptions he's taken back, I love playing with him simply for the fact that it meant so much for him to play for the New Orleans Saints. Being from, I'm gonna say Fifth Ward, he gonna claim the 6th or 7th or wherever it is. At the end of the day, that's when the New Orleans very own, and you felt that. So my favorite plays, he was able to take one to the crib, a little interception, a little shootout. I saw all the highlights yesterday. Just give me, you get all the feels back. You're like, dang, it's time. It's for training camp for me. Okay. At the same time, you saw Jimmy Graham retire. On the backside, there was Dallin Hoker. So shout out to the guys who are okay with their careers being done. You know, Jimmy just finished the Arctic Challenge. He just rode across shark-infested, ice-infested, polar bear-infested waters, and was like, you know, like that's the thing to do after you retire. I promise you, whenever I do retire, that will not be me. And then, of course, Dallin Hoker, who was so young, ended up retiring too, right? And it makes you realize, you know, each one of these plays, each one of these days aren't just given to us. These are earned. These are days that you have to choose, and because the day is definitely going to choose you. So you have to rise to that challenge every time.
What's something you were like contemplating yesterday after all that news? Like, is it like from your own side of things?
Hell no. Well, I don't know what they had to do with me. I say more power to them, congrats to them. I still got people I want to hit. So until this gets out of my blood, I can't go home with this type of energy.
No, I guess I wasn't saying like you know about you retiring. I was just saying, but like, you know, just realizing the end comes for everybody.
Of course not. Absolutely not. I remember there was a training camp where Patrick Robinson was a corner for us for numerous years. First round pick, left, came back, and his final day, where he was like 3 weeks into training camp, and just like was walking out like, Cam, appreciate you, dog. It's been such a pleasure to watch you play. I'm out. And I was like, all right, bro, I see you in meetings. He's like, no, I'm out. I was like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. And it took me a second. That one touched me because he was in building. I was like, dang. Yeah, he chose today. And so sometimes you choose violence and sometimes you choose peace. And I'm gonna bring my hands to work and choose violence every day. I love it. I need it. I love my locker room. Right now, I couldn't imagine me not waking up to head towards football. There's been one goal since the end of last year, with the frustrations I've had last year, was to be the best version of me this year.
How's that going?
I mean, what I think is a silver hair situation. You know, if I feel like a Valerian, I do in fact feel like a Valerian. I feel like I'm a front of the defense. I'm holding that line. There's people that are afraid to come this way because of the hair, but you know, it's probably because of the hands.
Have you named the dragon?
I have not. We're not in season yet. You get me to season, and I'll know what kind of monster we're going to be. Preseason? Come on, preseason. I'm gonna be evading people. Don't touch me. Get me to week 1.
Being that guy in the middle of the offense don't want to go after, getting it to Brandon Staley scheme. How has the buy-in been and just the reputation of this team?
Oh man, you bring in a guy like Justin Reed. You've got, of course, Demarai Davis. You pay Pete Warner last year. You bring in, you see a little bit of what Jalen Ford can do, DeMarco Jackson. I think that the defense is going to be formidable. You revamp the entire defensive line. You bring in Godchild. You draft. What is it? Broughton. And then, you of course, Brian Brzee, the hell of a year he had last year. All of a sudden, you put a defensive end label on him. Oh, we're going big. So, of course, edge, we extend out Chase. We got Carl. I'm there. Isaiah is growing into his own. He's getting better every time I see him. You can bring in Chris Rumpf, who's familiar with the system. You got JD, and then you bring in Fadil. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't wait till we put pads on. I wish I could give you more because I'm psyched up already. I'm just like, man, if we hit pads on and everybody's doing what I think they're doing, we're gonna be okay on defense. I like that. And then on offense, our job on defense is be a terror anyways. So the more we can make his day harder, that's Chris Olave over there if you haven't. He can't catch a route because we out there popping one of his quarterbacks. That's a great day for us and a terrible day for them, and then they have to respond. And we're gonna make them respond.
One of the things that makes them different compared to other DCs.
Man, you know what? He seems a lot similar to DA just in terms of temperament. He's bringing a very calm, hey, this is analytics, this, stats, this is where I want us to be, this is how we're going to get there. And it's very on brand and forward with it. And so what you can expect is consistency. And yet there's a consistency to the standard, too. He's already talking about pursuit. He's already talking about effort. He's talking about mentality. He's talking about, hey, we are going to play a physical, fast brand of football. And you can buy into that.
One of the things that Kellen was saying yesterday is he's always done a really good job of getting one-on-ones for his guys.
Love that.
Can you see that in just like the way it's kind of been built out so far?
We're on 7-on-7 mode. I don't know. Let me get pads on.
No, but
in theory, I see it. I see it all. On paper, yes, we look like we are one-on-one kings. We are going to win each and every one of these one-on-ones. I think that it all is great till we put pads on and we see live bullets. Yes. So I will say, hell yeah, we look phenomenal today.
How do you describe Kellen Moore's personality?
How do you describe Kellen Moore's personality?
He he smiles a lot
Right.
on the field for a head coach, just in our experience. Like, do you find, like...
He's a quarterback. Quarterback, have you ever heard me talk about quarterbacks? They're really good people. And at the same time, they're always very calculative. So he's smiling, but in my mind, he's scheming. So I'm gonna call him low key for now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some menace behind his smile, because he's thinking of how best to take advantage of the situation at hand.
Maybe still an early question for you, but just your early impressions of Jay Rogers, getting to work with him in the edge room.
Yeah, Jay Rogers, he brings high energy. He's always, hey man, come here. This is what we're going to do. We're always working, and I enjoy that. I don't know if he knows what New Orleans heat is, but we've sort of been working through that. Like today was a hot day. Like no, today was a 65er. We can do all that work in a 65er. Okay, if we do this amount of work on a hot day, we may have some people fall down. Just know, I'm built for it. Not a lot of people are.
Right.
Yes.
Besides not having pads on, did you have a favorite part of today?
My favorite part of today is being out there with young Broughton. He was like, hey, big dog, I'm about to shoot it. I said, hey, when we put pads on, keep that same mentality. When you shoot a gap, that means I can play around with how I'm going to attack this tackle. Man, I'll say, you see, I'm just going to leave. Like, I feel like this is a great color matchup, you know, like, I didn't leave it up there for a reason, but I'm glad you brought it up. I think, gold jerseys has been a long time coming. I'm not gonna say it's like my baby, but it's a John Bumgarner and myself. I feel like I was pestering him for a lot of years, which he pestered a lot of people up top, and then I realized it wasn't him, it was them, and then I went up top today.
This might be an early question, but is there anybody you're
Everybody, all of them, none of them. At this point, what I'm looking for is the effects. I want wins. I've had as much success as anybody in the league, minus a DPOI. I think I got robbed one year, but that's just personal bias here. Like in terms of accolades, I'm headed towards season, so I could care less what has happened before. I could care less how many sacks I have in a game, which those are great. We'll talk about them after season. But right now, I want wins. So if you say who's the sack quarterback, hell yeah, I want to sack Kyler Murray. That's week 1. And then whoever week 2 is, I don't know who week 2 is. Apparently we play the Bills week 4 because one of the fans told me, he's like, how do you feel about Ryan Nielsen being in Buffalo? We play in week 4. So that's the only other week I have in my mind right now. But it's week 1, Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. I think he's 6 foot now, right?
How does a defensive guy approach a quarterback battle, a competition on his own team? How do you do that?
I don't know.
I mean,
look, don't ask the quarterback. What does the quarterback have to do with me?
Patience. You obviously you want them to figure it out, but you have nothing. Like you said, you have no dog in the fight. So how do you do that?
I got all the dog in the fight. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for each and every one of them. Spencer Rattler, I'm like, hell yeah, Spence. Oh, okay, Tyler, let's go. Chuck that thing, and then you go from there. If somehow we have a dark horse that comes out and wins, great. Right now, I have zero expectations for them. I have the whole world's expectations on our defense.
Sam, something Kellen's talked about a lot is maximizing time, making sure everyone's taking full advantage of that. Have you seen that so far? And as a veteran player, how valuable is that to know your coach is actually thinking about?
It's appreciated. It's fully appreciated. There's not like big lull periods, or there's not just like rapid fires. There's times for us to go eat lunch. My lunch is now talking to you guys. Does that make you feel bad? Yes.
If Kellen's low, does that make Stanley Thor? Who's Thor?
Jesus. I want to be Thor. Oh, wait, dang it.
You gotta be the coach.
That's what I'm saying, dang it. Frack. Yeah, that probably, yeah. Which Thor, though? Don't say Love and Thunder. Please don't say Love and Thunder. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can go with that. Ragnar, Jay seems like he got, no, that might be Bo. Bo brings that fire. Bo brings that fire. Yeah.
Do you like people doubting this team?
I don't care if people doubt us. I don't care if people are for us or against us. What does it have to do with the 53 men in this locker? If you hate us, keep it to yourself. If you love us, keep it to yourself, because that's not going to help us win between the lines. We appreciate the love. We despise the hate. Don't get it twisted. What we have to do on the field, my wife can't do. No matter if however much she supports me, guess what she can't do? Touch in between the lines. My kids love the hell out of me, win, lose, or draw. And even if they wanted me to win that game, guess what they can't do? Take any one of these snaps. So what's important right now in training camp is how we feel about us. And I think we're building. I think OTAs we were building, we had a lot of team bonding moments. I think we're going into training camp with that same mindset of how do we build a better team.
You said both brings the fire. What is it about him? How much has he been at
I don't know. I've been hearing them as advertised. I've been hearing them. I see some highlights, and I've been hearing them as advertised.
What's the energy been like at training camp from the fans?
It's day one. It's high as heck. Come on, man. Day one, everybody's excited. Everybody's fast. Everybody's flying around. There is no pads on. Everybody looks like it's a kill shot. Look like we're going toe-to-toe Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway in the middle of the ring. Everybody gunning for it. And at the same time, it's day one. Wait till we put pads on.
What was that experience like?
Not gonna lie, been there before. It's pretty sweet. Love UFC. Been a fan for quite a long time. I'll say even pre-Anderson Silva days. You know, like you gotta love the sport as much as I grew up and everybody. I missed the Tyson era. I missed the Ali era. I missed the George Foreman era. I came up and there was fighters. Sure, you got Triple G and everybody else. Canelo, I guess. I had Money Mayweather, but that's not setting up a fight when you got Francis Ngannou on the other side, or Kamaru Usman, or you got Israel Adesanya in his prime walking out the Jabberwockies, or just the mayhem that ensues with like a guy like Rashad Evans. When you respect guys who fight, who talk with their fists, come on, man. I went from watching the YouTube joints, the bare knuckle brawls, to the backyard fights, with Kimbo Slice, rest in peace, back in the day, to straight to UFC. Like, come on, those are the days. You go from WWF to NWO, and then you sort of that was your gateway into fighting UFC and everything that goes from there. I just like being violent, and I appreciate violence. This is why I love football so much.
Have you ever thought about getting into the ring of
No. I mean, to have to relearn a craft? No, you realize I've dedicated my life to football since I was 13? I don't want to rededicate anything. Never mind. We'll leave that there for off camera. It's like being remarried again. No, this is it. Till death do us part.
Cam, can you talk about your foundation and all the work that you do?
Man, the Cam Jordan Foundation. I'm still so psyched that we're able to send 4 kids to school. I think they're going to school this month. Nope, next month, August. Yeah, so we sent 4 kids to in-state schools. We're looking to do so much more. We just did a pickleball tournament. I think we got a dinner coming up September 15th. Of course, we're going to do. I think we're putting together plans for a backpack drive. So stick tuned for those details. But now I'm in training camp. I get so singly focused. I let the foundation sort of take over. I'm like, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. Goodbye. Because now I'm in training camp. I'm in mode. I want to be the best version of me that I can be, and then I'm gonna look up and it's gonna be September. Like, oh, this week we got this drive. This week we got a dinner. This week we're going to this school. I'll worry about that when the time comes. I just know that this off season has been phenomenal for the foundation, Cam Jordan Foundation. We've got so much more things to do in the city. I thank you for the Cam Jordan Day. I thank you for just the opportunity to serve New Orleans, and I can't wait to give more. On the field and off the field. That's my last question. Goodbye.
Nope. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, so a couple things just as we go through this. Obviously, really good first day. Awesome for our players. To have the fans out here in Metairie was really, really fun. A couple roster things. Dallin,
Holker obviously went through a transition there, so he's retiring, and so that was a little bit procedural there. But we appreciate everything he's done. He's an awesome guy, and looking forward to everything he's going to do. And then we obviously have a couple roster spots as a result of that we'll get to in the coming, probably in the next day. We'll make a couple transactions there. So open up for questions.
Got a break on the weather on day one, huh?
Yeah, love it. Yeah, it's beautiful. So it was really good.
What did you think? First day.
Yeah, I felt like it was good. It's the first day coming off of a summer break. There's always an element of you want it to be a lot cleaner and a lot smoother, but thought our guys came out. The effort was good. We'll clean up a lot of the details, and that's what training camp's all about.
How do you want to approach this first week? Is it throw as much at them as possible, or is it really incremental as it builds?
Naturally, this is a installation phase of our process, and so it's more package each and every day, and so we're building as we go. There's certainly plenty of workload. There's plenty of stuff that they need to accumulate over the course of the next few days, and so this thing will just continue to grow and get bigger. Practices will get longer. We'll enter the pad phase next week, and so we'll just keep building.
And I know it's only day one, but what did you think of how the quarterbacks handled running the offense?
Yeah, quarterbacks did a nice job. I think all of them hopped in there, did a really good job. I think, again, as we talk about the focus, there's the physical component, but then there's the operation, and really keen on seeing those guys operate at a really high level.
Was a part of it seemed like there were some reps where y'all went up tempo and everything.
Yep.
Was that part of trying to figure that and the operation?
Tempo will be a part of each and every practice in some capacity, and so we just sprinkle it in based off the situations, and just so our guys get more and more accustomed to it.
Kellen, how important it is that you're able to find someone that you could trust to relieve Alvin Kamara as far as the second and third running back, someone you can lean on?
Certainly we feel like, in this league it's a long NFL season, and certainly Alvin's going to lead the way with that group, but you need other guys to hop in there, and we feel like we got a really good group there. Guys that have some guys with some experience that is very, very valuable, and then some really young guys that we're fired up for, and so we're going to need a couple of those guys to hop in there and be ready to roll and utilize all those guys.
How have you found tempo to be beneficial throughout? It seems like that's kind of a common point throughout each of your stops. Where did that kind of originate? Well, how do you like it so much?
Yeah, just changing the rhythm of the game, being able to control it in some capacity, and so sometimes you're going fast, sometimes you're going slow, and everything in between. And the more we just rep that, get ourselves exposure to it, get ourselves prepared for the season, and then it also prepares the defense for whenever they play a team that's going to play with some form of tempo. We'll just continue to utilize it.
Right. How important is it to have that variety? Because it's not, you think of tempo, it's just go, but there's not like variance there.
There's a rhythm to the game, and you're constantly trying to control the rhythm and change it up. And I think if the defense gets a feel for you, they kind of know the rhythm that you play with, the time and the play clock that you snap the football with. It can allow them to kind of play and control some things from their perspective.
What are some of the challenges?
Young quarterbacks going through a battle like this, 3 young quarterbacks going through a battle like this, does managing noise become part of that process and not allowing that to affect anything that happens out there?
I think that's a big part for these guys, just navigating this. It's a training camp process. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. You just kind of focus in on your task at hand, and I think we have the right type of guys in that room to handle this, and they'll do an excellent job.
What are some of the challenges that you've seen so far, not with these quarterbacks in particular, but with quarterbacks as a whole, and just executing the up-tempo game?
Yeah, the tempo, I think it's just getting all 11 on the same page. There's a lot of communication that goes with it. You're controlling the cadence. You're playing at a really fast level, but you got to play under control. And so that's what we're going to continue to develop and keep pushing. You got to play as fast as you can, but under control, and utilize all the tools you need.
Kellen, you mentioned yesterday kind of the rotation is going to be, okay, this is that player's day with the ones. Is this kind of the split that you would expect on most days?
Yeah, certainly the volume will increase as we go each and every day. And so these practices, this is the first practice come off of the summer break, and so you're going to have a quicker practice than you will in the next few days. And so the reps will increase. We'll try and lean into these guys as far as getting them, just some consistency in their practices. Spencer obviously took most of the ones, just about all the ones today. Tyler will take them tomorrow, and so we'll just kind of continue to rotate all these guys.
And how is that communicated? Is it, is there a schedule in advance? Like, do you tell them on the day? Like, how do you kind of figure that out?
Yeah. Scotty does an excellent job just communicating with those guys, understanding as they're preparing for the next day what periods and what reps they're going to get.
Was the length of this practice dictated by the collective bargaining agreement, or is this the length that you wanted?
This is probably the shortest practice we'll next 2 days. Yesterday or today and tomorrow will be the shortest practice we'll have in a long time, and so that's just the way. With the CBA coming off of it, we're ramping up. The big thing is we want to be able to be ready to maximize and just really max out, next week with our practices.
And you're good with all the CBA rules for practice? Like, you feel you get enough time on the field?
we're coaches. We all want to do as many reps as we possibly can. But again, this is a building process, and what we want to do is build these guys up from a physical standpoint so that they're healthy and they're ready to go next week when we get into the pad phase.
Do you feel a sense of urgency as far as identifying a starter, or is it important for you to let it breathe and see what it is?
Yeah, obviously, the sooner you make a decision, the sooner you can focus in on certain personnel groups and certain consistencies. But we'll let the process take it as long as it needs to, and when we make that decision, we'll roll.
Coach, just a different look on your defensive line. We had the 4-3 look last year, more of a 3-4 look this year. How's that rotating the players?
Been good. I think really a lot of it, just because of what the OTAs are, is this is your first look at those guys out there on the field competing in some capacity, all on the field at the same time. Thought these guys have done an awesome job all offseason with some of the adjustment for guys who are returning, and I think it'll allow those guys to play a number of different positions, do a number of different things that will suit their skills.
Was there something you saw from Spencer in the spring that made you want him to be the first guy up, so to say?
Well, I think we have a bunch of statistics and stuff based off OTAs, and I mean these guys are right in it's literally the same exact numbers in every category, and so they're very consistent throughout the whole process. Spencer's obviously been here one more year. We just start with him, and then we'll go from there, and I won't worry too much about that.
Do you think Tyler has any sort of an edge? The fact that he was drafted with you and this coaching staff kind of in place, so he's like quote unquote one of your guys that you brought in there at all?
I view them all the same. Love these guys. These guys have been awesome all offseason, and fired up just to let those guys play it out and go for it.
What made you want to have Jake be part of that conversation? Was there something you saw from him last year?
Yeah, certainly through this whole process. I mean, going back to when he was coming out of the draft, we liked him. I was in LA that year. We liked him. We liked Spencer last year when I was in Philadelphia, and so that's the unique thing of this profession. Sometimes you go somewhere else and you end up running back into each other, and so we feel good about letting all these guys go for it.
How much did you pick your brother's brain about Jake and all of that?
I've known Jake for a while. He played at Washington for my college coach, and then obviously my brother coached him at Fresno State. So certainly there's plenty of familiarity there.
As far as foundation building or big picture, look at this. Is that a time for training camp to really set the foundation and ideals that you want to have this, carry over for the next 3 to 5 years here, or is that more OTAs, mini camp? Like, how do you do that?
You're just continuing to build each and every day. What we did in OTAs was a really good foundation. We got to just keep stacking it, keep growing, and I think our guys are embracing that.
Kellen, Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis, what was it like for you coaching against them and now coaching with them on the team?
Yeah. They're obviously some of the premier players of our league. They've just done it at a really high level for such a long time. Excellent teammates, excellent players. They got a great feel for the game. I think a lot of our younger guys can lean into their experiences and learn from those guys and help them be ready to go.
Kind of going off that, I mean, especially with Tyron retiring too, and there being a lot of younger developmental guys on defense as well, how much are you going to have to rely on guys like Cam and DeMario to really, step into that leadership? I don't want to say step in because they already have, but their leadership.
I think veterans in general in this league, when you're around the best, they support and help the other younger guys, and they bring them along the way. I think we got a ton of veterans that are going to do that. Not just Cam and DeMario, but Justin and Pete and so many of those other guys on the defensive side and on the offensive side. You got B. Cooks, you got Alvin, who's done it for a long time. You got Eric, so much of that offensive line, and so we got a number of guys that'll help this thing.
When it comes to the 3 quarterbacks, they all have different levels of mobility.
Mm-hmm.
How much will that factor into the decision of who will need to keep them?
I think the most important thing is you got to be able to throw the football on passing downs. That's one of the most critical aspects of playing quarterback. Is there's third downs, there's situations where the whole world knows we're throwing the football, and we got to perform there. And so the running game is obviously a huge bonus. You've seen around our league that your ability to run in some capacity certainly will help, and so we'll see how that goes.
Would you say that everything kind of came together today from the staff, the players, the whole operation, and the fans, and this kind of sets a good tone for the training camp?
I just think a lot of work goes into building a training camp, and so we appreciate everything that people within the Saints organization in Metairie have done to set this thing up. This is a beautiful setting for training camp. It's a great setup with our fields, with the fans here, and we're fired up to be here for the next few weeks.
You have guys, going back to DeMario and Cam, who've been here, you're so used to kind of like a culture, and you're coming in and bringing your own flavor. Like, do you have to explain more to them, or is it less because they've been around so long? Like, what's kind of those conversations like?
I think a lot of it's the same. Certainly you talk to some of the veterans a little bit more at times. We do have a leadership council where you spend some time with those guys just to kind of talk through scenarios and make sure they're all seeing it the same way, and so we got excellent leadership on this team, excellent veterans, and even young guys that are rising up in a veteran way.
How big is the council?
I think we're at somewhere between 12 to 14.
You're confident that at some point in this training camp, one of the quarterbacks will sort of present himself to you and you'll know who your starter is? And are you good at just, not trying to overthink it, but waiting for that to happen?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it does. These guys have been really competitive, and so we'll let the process take its course. Sometimes you gotta make tough decisions, but usually one of these guys, will naturally play himself into it.
You've referenced the Chargers game already a couple of times, even yesterday, about that being a hallmark of the decision to be who will be the starting quarterback. How much will that be a finite decision on whoever performance there will have for each spot for the rest of the game?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is at the end of the day, playing quarterback, there's a lot of things around you, and you're in a controlled environment in practice, and so it's our first chance to play with live action, and the ability to get sacked, the ability to get hit, some of those components there, which will be very valuable for those quarterbacks, and it'll be the first step in that process to see how they respond.
And the one who does the best out of those three, they get the longest of the leashes, presumably, as far as the lead dog spot?
We'll see. We'll kind of piece this thing all together, and we'll see how it goes. And again, that's not the Chargers isn't the end all be all. It's the first time out there, and we'll see how it goes from there.
You guys have Bayless Jones in the offseason. What do you see about him in Chicago? And what do you think he could bring to his offense?
Yeah, Bayless, he brings a tremendous value in special teams, but his transition going to running back, sometimes the transition takes a little bit of time, and so he's done an excellent job being out here with us, going through that transition. He's doing an awesome job. He's got some big-time playmaking ability that'll show up in the run game as well, and so we're excited to let him keep growing.
I know it's a blur and you have a schedule, but this is your first training camp as a head coach. Did you take anything in? Did you enjoy a moment of that?
No, not really. It was training camp. It was fun. It was good to get the guys out here and get ourselves going.
Are you satisfied with the tight end room right now as far as the depth, considering Parker retiring and then Avery tomorrow, Taysom? Where are you at with the tight end room? Do you think there's room for improvement? Are you satisfied with the depth?
I'd just say, like any position, we're always trying to acquire players and acquire talent, and so we'll see how it goes. If something pops up, we're more than willing to do it. But I think that group's worked their tail off. There are some younger guys in there that are continuing to grow, and so you see those leaps come in through training camp, and so we'll see how it goes.
How would you assess how the defensive players have bought into Brandon Staley so far? Has there been anything that you kind of noticed behind the scenes with that, and how would you kind of assess that situation?
I think a lot of the stuff that you can see during training camp and OTAs is just the energy on the sideline on that defensive side, their emphasis on the ball. They got a, I think D-Jack got a strip attempt on there and got the ball out, and you just saw the whole side rally on that, and you just saw them, really embracing the core values that they believe in.
What's the messaging to the safety room? Obviously, Justin Reed is a veteran there, but some young players who is obviously now a role to be won there.
Yeah, great opportunities for everyone. Everyone will get an opportunity. We'll go through this process, and it's got to be an exciting time. That's all any player can ever ask for.
Coach, how much Dr. Kellen was the Baby Castle Academy how does that respond to his, I guess I'd say, first?
Yeah, a lot of players in some capacity that have gone through this thing over the last 10 plus years have gone to the Manning Pass Academy, either as a player, a counselor, or in some other form. And so it's one of the best of the best. What the Mannings do down there is phenomenal for Louisiana, but for the game of football. And so it was really cool to see Tyler going down there. Not a lot of guys that are in the NFL because your time is limited and you got a little bit of a window in the summer to get away. For him to go down there and spend time with those guys is obviously awesome.
Kellen, it looks like Clyde and Devin Neal got a little run once today. How moving do you expect that running back will be?
Yeah, behind Alvin, we'll continue to rotate all those guys and give each guy an opportunity, and it'll be a fun battle. Let those guys play it out.
Will that be day to day like the quarterback?
Yeah, day to day.
Thanks, Kellen.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bam.